Previously on Horrible Film Recaps.
Hello!
Oh, and what sights have you seen?
I see horrible film recaps. The films are fine. The recaps don't even know they're horrible.
That sounds great. Honey, let's go subscribe.
And now on to our feature presentation. The title of this film is The Happening, as in what the devil is happening in this movie. These two nerds are reading books in the park. The woman tries to start a conversation, but Sally simply cannot stand mindless chatter. Say what you want about the education system, but do we really want an America where Marky Mark is teaching your kids? Cameron is tired of having to explain that Ferris was not a figment of his imagination. The kids see their chance and are finally free of Marky Mark's reign of terror. He cries out, "Please don't go, girl." He says he wants to hold a free concert in the school auditorium. Luckily, the children are evacuated just in time. This new girl is shocked when she learns that Marky Mark is standing right behind her. Benji sees his chance and takes out an unsuspecting police officer. Unfortunately, the Second Amendment doesn't prohibit idiots from using firearms. They gather round the cell phone to watch horrible film recaps.
I'd say the man feels no pain, but I'd be lying.
The crowd grows nervous as new locations are added to the Funky Bunch reunion tour schedule. Suddenly, the power goes out and everyone goes silent. An ominous sound can be heard, which then sends them into a panic. "Don't run, we're going to have a good time," shouts Marky Mark. These poor people are about to discover that they are actually in New Jersey. Sadly, their reactions are not uncommon. All things considered, they choose the only sensible option. The Funky Bunch take a ride and are stopped by an excited fan. He asks, "Is Donnie in the vehicle?" When he finds out, it's just Mark. He is overcome with disappointment. Marky Mark starts feeling the urge to run some rhymes. They beg him to stop, but he can't overcome his need to make music for the people. They flee in terror because there ain't no stopping the funk. He spots a car and is disappointed to find it doesn't contain a CD of the band Nanook. He offers to perform for this groundskeeper, but the groundskeeper chooses the only sensible option. The country is paralyzed with fear as more and more Funky Bunch tour dates are added to the schedule. The group decide to pay a visit to their old band mate, Loleta Holloway. She is none too pleased to hear that he became a movie star. "You used to be about the music," the old lady complains. Marky Mark invites her to join them on tour. She considers it for a second. After thinking about it, she chooses the only sensible option. MTV Music News is sad to announce that Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch are taking their reunion worldwide. Meanwhile, in France, these two men are conversing. Oui, oui, baguette de fromage. This concludes the movie recap. For a movie called The Happening, there was a terrible lack of happenings. I think what happens in this movie needs to be happening more often and happening more frequently. Good day to you all.
Does your love life make you feel like a canary in a coal mine? Does social anxiety have you climbing the walls and kicking your doors? Then come on down to Wolfman and Jack's Escort Service and Neurotoxic Body Spray Salon. We'll rush out to drive you to one of our lightning-fast 32-hour brainwashing seminars. We yell at you for using the pool. Then we'll let our trained staff lecture you on fire safety until you pay them to leave. Then you'll get a dousing of our patented body spray made from expired chemicals. Side effects may include hair loss, skin irritation, being on a government watch list, blood spasms, and your pheromones will attract monkeys. You might feel like this loser, or that you can fight a tiger, but you'll really be flatlining in a local hospital. Then we'll loot your bodies and scamper through the park. Just saying.
And now on to our feature presentation.
The title of this movie is Signs. It's either a terrible biopic about the five-man electrical band or some PSA from the Children's Television Workshop. Mel Gibson awakes from a nightmare he had about a rather unfortunate encounter with some police officers. He rushes outside because he's worried that those damn baseball players are back in his cornfield. But instead of the 1919 Chicago White Sox, he just finds more of those overly religious children again. He is upset because it appears that someone stole his above-ground pool and his jacuzzi, his inflatable donut, and his giant one-legged chicken statue. He's on the phone with his swimming pool guy when he notices those kids are now in his kitchen. Obviously, they can't stay here, so they are forced back to their cornfield. He turns a corner and spots a police officer. "I don't remember you living here," he responds. These kids make sure the family dog is eating enough, which makes sense. If the meat is too lean, it has a tendency to be too dry. The clueless deputy gives Mel the bad news. "Yep, looks like your pool is missing." Mr. Gibson immediately wants to blame the Jew. "No, wait! I mean overzealous scrap metal collectors." The police officer woman gets the hell out of there before she has to hear any more of his conspiracy theories. Now stuck with those damn kids on the cob, he drives to the center of town and abandons them. Oh no, it seems the scrap metal collectors have gone international, while this old dude complains. "I'm missing my stories." Mel makes it back safely, only to be shocked to learn those corn kids knew his home address. Imagine his surprise when he learns that he was also followed home by Joaquin Phoenix. Since his house is infested with children and mythical bird people, Mel takes his dog bowl of beer and decides to sleep in the corn. He emerges in the morning dismayed to find those damn kids not only sitting on his bed, but also wearing metallic yarmulkes. I'm not sure what kind of book they are reading, but it seems to involve some sort of space laser. The kids then keep a watchful eye out for any flying scrap metal collectors that may or may not be in the area. Joaquin sees one of those elusive scrappers on the telly and promptly dies. Mel hears something rummaging around in his scrap metal closet. He isn't sure what it is, but then spots a craggy hand, indicative of somebody who's been stripping copper wire their whole life. He returns home disturbed to discover that not only is Joaquin back from the dead, he wears a yarmulke now. Later that night, they come face to face with some pissed-off lightning bugs. The news dude says they're not lightning bugs. They're the lights from the flying scrap metal collector's air fleet. The next day, Mel wants to dispose of his TV, only to find that a scrapper is already waiting to claim it. The grizzled old scrapper wants to trade the child of the corn for the tube of the boob. When they decline the offer, he uses an old scrapper trick to extract the iron from the boy's blood. Mel flashes back to that fateful night on July 28, 2006. Joaquin, who was always a joker, comes to the realization that he was destined for something more. He was destined to become the Batman. He hits him in the kidneys. Because scrap metal collectors are weak to wooden objects, Joaquin loses control and accidentally takes out Carl, the cameraman. And with Carl's untimely demise, the Joker was finally able to break the bat. Mel and Joaquin completely lose it when they learn that the poor cameraman had one day until retirement. The funeral is tomorrow. His widow requests you send donations in lieu of flowers. Thank you. This concludes the movie recap. Those scrappers didn't need to steal Mel's pool. You can find all the pool you need way down in Rivet City. Well, at least we didn't have any bothersome M. Night cameos or other chicanery.
What a twist!
Oh, shut up. Good day to some of you all.